All right. Well, it is 7:03 by my clock, and we are just so excited. We've really enjoyed this virtual series and are feeling our green and gold spirit as we have Myra Sims and her fabulous team from our athletics department here with us tonight. So I'm going to turn the program over to her, but please, as questions arise, feel free to use the chat feature. We are recording this session so we can share it with others. But welcome, and Myra, thanks so much. I'll turn it right over to you.
Thank you, Lauren. Hey, everybody. My name is Myra Sims, Director of Athletics, and I've been here at Hollins since spring of 2018. So I've been here 3 full years now. I can no longer claim being the new person, although I try often to have that out. But it's been kind of a crazy year with COVID, of course, and I'm sure it's been a crazy year for everybody with COVID, regardless of where you are and what you do. So we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But before we jump into that, we're going to do a couple of things. First of all, we've got a few of the coaches, not all of our coaches, and our sports information, our Director of Athletics Communications on with us. And I want to have them introduce themselves first. And then we're going to do a little trivia thing. I know everybody loves little icebreakers, right? So Justin has prepared some Hollins Athletics trivia that we'll play. And then I'm going to give you just a quick overview of what's happening in the athletics program. And then we'd love to just chat with you all and answer any questions, hear about your experience when you were at Hollins, and go from there. So let me stop. Justin, why don't you go first? And then Robert, Gretchen, and Emily, introduce yourselves to folks.
Hi, everybody. I'm Justin. I am the Director of Athletic Communications. So basically, I run the website, all the social media stuff, all of the stats, and all of that. And I started the year after Myra, so I'm actually going into my 3rd year. And I'll be running the Kahoot trivia. So any bribes, send my way, go for it.
Hello, my name is Robert Sullivan. I am the cross-country coach and also the indoor and outdoor track and field coach. So been at Hollins 2 years, and we're excited to now start our track and field program. And we just competed our first outdoor season, and we had a very successful season. So I'm very excited about that. One note I will throw out there, I've been following this ever since we had our ODAC meeting. ODAC track meet, outdoor track meet. According to U.S. Track and Field Cross Country Coaches Association, out of 12 teams in the ODAC, we finished the season, finished the 9th best women's team in outdoor track. So I was very excited about that. I've been watching it, even though we haven't run in 4 weeks. They're still running in the postseason, but we've still maintained that number 9 ranking.
Robert's doing a fantastic job. Was part-time to start with, just became full-time with us just this past January. And in recruiting, is it 16 deposits for next year, Robert? Is that the right number?
15.
15
deposits for right now, but I still have about 3 or 4 that are still deciding.
So we're in only the 2nd year of competition. We're probably going to have close to 30 student athletes on the track, in the track program. So it's really remarkable what Robert's done. Go, Gretchen. Sorry to.
Yes, I go after Robert. Robert makes us all look bad, but
no.
I'm Gretchen Rush. I'm happy to meet all of you. I'm a very enthusiastic happy hour participant. I love this time of day. It's my favorite time of day. But I'm really excited to meet the alumni, and we had a very abbreviated tennis season. But yeah, we definitely made strides as we went on. Leslie Williams was I call her my assistant coach. She had the girls in there lifting weight. The first day with Leslie, I think I had 4 players, and they complained the whole time. They're like, how many do you want us to do? And they were questioning everything she did. And the last day of practice with Leslie, we had 12 girls. They were in matching outfits. They had this gigantic, 20-pound weight over their head doing squats. So, I mean, we made incredible progress. Today was the first day that I felt like I could go out and recruit. We were watching regional tennis action at the high school level. So it was a great day for tennis today. And it just seems like we're getting back to I don't want to say normal, but to the new normal. So anyway, we're making strides in the tennis program.
And if you haven't looked at Gretchen's bio on our website, you need to check it out. Gretchen was very modest, did not mention the fact that she played in tennis in the 1984 Olympics, where it was as high as number 13 in the world on the pro tour, competed at Wimbledon, US Open, French Open. So we got a big time coach for Hollins tennis. So Gretchen's been with us just for a year. So Emily, you're up.
Hi, my name is Emily Dutton, and I am the basketball coach here at Hollins. I'm very blessed. I get to work against my tennis skills with Gretchen and Justin. So that's what we are going to be working on this summer. We're going to try to get up to Gretchen's level. But I have been at Hollins for 3 years now, and it was also an exciting day. We finished our schedule for next year, our tentative schedule today. So that's always a plus when you're able to get that done. But we are excited about the growth of the basketball program. We had 6 phenomenal freshmen this year that sadly we didn't get to play, but they are all returning next year. And so we're just really looking forward to getting back on the court, and I look forward to meeting all of you tonight.
Yeah, Emily, I got to brag on all of them. In the last year we got to compete, which was the 2019-20 school year. Emily's team had the best year Hollins basketball has had since the early 90s. We were featured on the local news 6 o'clock sportscast a couple times that season, which was really exciting. Doesn't happen that much for Hollins, of course, to make the local sportscast, but just doing a really good job building the program. So really excited about that. So Justin, it's time for some trivia.
All right, so what I need everyone to do is from your computer or your phone, go to Kahoot, and I will go on ahead and share. Let's see, play now, I'm the host.
Is it just Kahoot.com, Justin? Is
Yes.
that the website? Okay.
That's it.
Kahoot.
Yes, it'll show you right here, Kahoot.it, or you can play on the app if you have it. Oh, stop sharing my screen.
We had a happy hour for the Hall of Fame members a few weeks back and did this with them. I tell you, it got pretty competitive because there's a speed factor and of course getting the answer right. So
And I'm pretty sure at the Hall of Fame one we had, Lauren dominated everybody. So she's promised to take it easy on the group this evening.
I'll serve as cheerleader.
oh, that's festive, Lauren.
Okay, I think it's me, but I don't know how to I'm in Kahoot.com, but I don't know how to get to the game pin entry.
Instead of Kahoot.com, try Kahoot.it. I think that takes you directly to the game room.
Okay. Sorry about that, Haley. I gave you bad instructions.
No, that's okay.
I said that before he put this screen up. So
no worries.
and then it'll ask you for the game pin, and you just enter the 7-digit code there, and that should put you in our waiting room.
Okay, got it.
There you go. Is anybody else having trouble that we can help you with, or? All right, well, let's go ahead, Justin. Maybe other folks are, okay, well, hang on, there's Deja. Hi, Deja.
Yeah, I don't think once you start the game, you can have people still enter.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give it a few more minutes just to make sure everyone can get in.
Jen, that's pretty funny. Too old, too young for Life Alert, but too old for Kahoots. That's good.
Gretchen, you were holding your phone up. What? You're muted.
I was saying bad words, so it's good.
Oh.
So I'm on Create Kahoot. I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe I'll just be a cheerleader too.
Here, let me see if I can see if I can text you the link.
Yeah, this is the story of your life, isn't it, Justin?
Trying to help Gretchen with her technology.
I am like an application for a teacher, and now it wants me to upgrade.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to do any of that unless you want to start paying for that.
Kahoots. There's a thing on kindness. That's nice.
All right, there we go. I just texted you. There's the game. So you click on that and then just enter that game pin there.
Thank you, Justin, again.
Of course.
I was there for you today or yesterday, whenever that was. Okay, got it.
Very cool.
All right.
All right.
Is there
Okay.
anybody else, or should we go on ahead and just start?
Emily Dunton's name looks very formal.
Oh. All right, Robert's
I
joining
think that's
in.
every.
Robert, I sent him the link. So once Robert joins, we'll go on ahead and get started.
Justin, you want to do a practice? Want to do a practice one? Practice trivia?
I don't think I can.
No, just with our verbal.
Oh, now she's putting me on the spot.
Who won the women's tennis US Open last year with no fans?
Don't remember.
Oh, what is her name?
I always say Gretchen.
Was it Naomi? Was it Osaka?
Good, impressive, Justin.
All right.
Let's go with the Hollins trivia. Go, Justin.
All right. Oh. I think I kicked somebody out by accident.
I think that was Jan. Sorry, Jan. Can you get back in?
It's not letting me start the game.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's because all right, well, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna start before I mess up anything else. All right, so you've got 20 seconds to answer each question. And I'll read it, but you all can read it yourself too. We currently have a coach who played in the Olympics in which sport? So yeah, you not only get points for answering right, but for answering quick. All right. After the first question, Haley, I do have to say, I'm not sure how Gretchen didn't take the lead on that question, but
I was eating. I thought this was a happy hour.
All right, question 2. Which green and gold team set the record for wins in a season last year? So 2019-20, not this 2020-2021. It was volleyball. They had 1 or 2 more wins than the previous high. So it was definitely a great season for volleyball. Like Myra said, I thought Myra was going to give away my question, but she was talking about basketball. So. All right, Emily representing the coaches. All right, question 3. Which Hall of Fame coach is the soccer/lacrosse field named after?
I keep hitting the wrong thing.
It is Marjorie T. Berkeley. Her name's on, and I think, Myra, when was that dedicated?
It was actually dedicated the year before I came to Hollins. So
okay, I thought
spring of 2018, I believe.
I thought I saw some pictures.
Yeah.
There. All right. Oh, Emily's on a hot streak.
Mandy, way to represent the non-coaches.
Which Hall of Famer was a member of the U.S. Women's Lacrosse Program and is a 3-time member of the Hollins Hall of Fame? Leslie Blanken-Lane. So yeah, she's been on, I think, 2 teams of distinction and is an individual member. We did an article, and Myra is going to show the website, but we did an article, an alumni, like where are they now article on her a few months ago. So, all right. Question 5. Last year, Hollins added a new sport. What was it? Track and field. Yep, and you all know Robert is on the call, so he's done a fantastic job of coaching 3 sports and recruiting, and Robert keeps me busy with recruiting. And three questions left. Which Latin phrase is on the Hollins University seal? Yep.
Oh, everybody got that one.
The green one, I don't know what that means. The orange one was seize the wine. And then the blue one is the Latin phrase from Hogwarts to let sleeping dragons lie, or never wake a sleeping dragon. So. Which Hollins team was the first to win an ODAC championship? It was the tennis team. And that was actually, they were on the Hall of Fame call. So I think that was the 1986 tennis team. So they were on that call that we did back a few weeks ago. All right, Emily is tearing it up. All right, last question for all the marbles. Other than being an amazing university, Hollins has the distinction of what? We are the only college in the US without a mascot. So, all right. And the winner is, well, we'll go third place. Nice job,
Yay,
Mandy.
Mandy.
Then Gretchen, and then Emily.
Wow, way to go, Emily.
Emily, were you perfect score? That's incredible.
Thank you, Gretch. Be nice to me tomorrow with the tennis racket.
Cool. Well, that was
All
fun.
right.
Thank you all for participating, and thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For putting that together. As soon as Justin stops screen sharing, now I'm going to screen share and just go through a little bit of a couple slides I put together to share kind of what's happening in the department right now. Can you all see my screen there?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, cool. So I wanted to just kind of back up, and I'm going to try to run through these quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to have time for questions and any discussion. I mentioned already that we had started just prior to COVID in the fall of 2018. We started the indoor and outdoor track and field programs with Robert as a part-time coach, and really it has exceeded our expectations, as I mentioned earlier, because of the great work that Robert is doing, and we're just thrilled that program's already grown to 30 or maybe more student athletes for next year. You may have heard that we've added a full-time strength and conditioning coach. Gretchen mentioned Leslie a little earlier, Leslie Williams. Leslie has been with us for 2 years now, the first year also part-time, and then we were able to transition her to a full-time status as of January 2020. Her position is actually titled Director of Sport Performance and Student Wellness. And so all of our students have to take a well-being, physical education component, and Leslie oversees that and then does all of the training for all of our varsity athletes. So that's a huge benefit in terms of just improving strength, power, in terms of sport performance, but also injury prevention. And we're really, really pleased. And she does a great job. In fact, she was nominated, we just learned today, for the Hollins Distinguished Service Award because of the good work she's done. So really lucky to have her. I wanted to mention our new athletics website, and a big shout out to Justin. We went live with the new website last summer. Also in the midst of COVID, he was already working on that. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. We're so proud of it. I want to make sure folks see it and know what a great resource that is to keep up with Hollins. It really gives us a much more higher profile look, much more professional look for our athletics program. And we're just really excited about that and the work that Justin has done to bring that to life and to keep it updated with lots of good content that even during COVID, when we didn't have games and results to share, that we still found good content to keep it fresh and alive. So really pleased with that. We signed a 5-year Adidas agreement when I first got here in the spring of 2018. I think that's been a really nice enhancement for our teams. We get a good chunk of free stuff from Adidas every year that we split between all the teams. We get a certain allotment of money that we get can buy stuff for free. And then we get huge discounts on all the things that we buy. So I'm wearing my cool Adidas shirt right now. We all have lots of nice gear, and our students really love to get apparel that's a name brand like that, a sports apparel provider that they see on TV on all the big D1 schools. And that's been a really nice thing that we've been able to do. We had just started this partnership with Burton School, which is a local arts and technology school that also has a building trades program. And we've been working with them for over a year. They have been building nice wood lockers to upgrade the 2 team locker rooms that we have that are shared by several of our sports. We'll hope you'll follow us on, or are already following us on social media. A little later this summer, we'll be putting some pictures and some posts up because we're close to finishing that project, and it looks great. They're removed the old rusty metal lockers and nice open wood lockers with the Hollins logo, nice individual stools. So it's really neat, and it's going to be really exciting for our athletes who didn't really get to see it this year when we weren't competing, and we'll come back this August to these really nice upgrades to the team locker rooms. And then, as I already mentioned, we had really great year in 2019-20, just before COVID hit. Basketball and volleyball, we've already mentioned. Soccer had a great year, really good recruiting year, much improved. Swimming, riding, track and field, cross country. All of our teams are really showing improvement, and we're just really excited about where we are now. And I'll come back a little bit later to some recent things that really have us excited about what the future holds for Hollins athletics. Then, COVID has been a little bit of a setback, obviously, for everyone. And it's been an interesting year. There have been some really good things that have come out of COVID. I think we've certainly learned ways to do things that we didn't know before. So I think there will be some real opportunities that we've been able to follow up on because of COVID, and we're excited about that. But just in terms of athletics, we did not compete at all during fall semester. None of our teams engaged in any competition. Hollins had very strict restrictions on guests on campus and on off-campus travel. So obviously that we were not able to compete. The teams did all engage in practice activities and working with Leslie in strength and conditioning, and we're engaged 2 to 3 days per week. As spring semester rolled around, we were able to engage in some modified competition in those sports listed there. Those are the ones that NCAA had categorized as low-risk sports and had a much lower requirement for regular testing. But we did have to do weekly COVID testing with athletes in a number of sports. And so that was interesting to have to manage that. And I was actually doing rapid COVID tests 2 or 3 times a week all spring. So it was interesting. Our student athletes were so resilient and so just, strong through the whole thing, because it was really tough on these students, especially the seniors who had such a different experience than what they would have expected for their senior year. So I was really proud of our student athletes and our coaches for the way that we've, hung together and come through it. It did impact our coaches in recruiting to some degree because of the campus restrictions on travel. We were not able to go off campus. We were also limited in the ways and numbers in which we could bring prospective students to visit campus. Despite that, we've had a really, really great recruiting year, both for the university and for athletics. Athletics has the highest number of athletic recruits we've had since we've been tracking it, as far as we know. The university has 267 total students. I believe it was 252 first years, and then about 15 or so transfers and Horizon students. So as of right now, it stands at about 267 new students to start this fall, which is also the largest number that Hollins has had in a long, long time. I don't know exactly how long, but in a long, long time. So despite all the challenges, Hollins is really positioned well overall coming out of the whole COVID situation. We did lose a few student athletes and regular other students, non-athlete students, as well as student athletes who left Hollins this year for a variety of reasons. Some because they wanted to be closer to family as the pandemic unfolded. We had some first years that just had a more difficult time settling in the fall because of how restricted things were. Students, for example, couldn't go visit students in other dormitories or residence halls. There were restrictions on all kinds of things on campus in terms of gathering and things like that, which is obviously what college students want to do, gather and socialize and find that group and find themselves. And that was so limited. I think some students just didn't find their way, which is really unfortunate. And but I'm sure Hollins was not the only institution to experience that. And as we think about coming out of Hollins, I am so encouraged about where we are. You know, again, the recruiting aspect of it. These days, so many small colleges look to athletics as part of the overall enrollment strategy because of the fact that so many young folks want that opportunity to play intercollegiate sports. And when they get the opportunity through the recruiting process to interact with coaches and future teammates, you just have really good yield on student athletes, more so than non-athletes in the recruiting world. So we're really excited about the growth we're seeing in our rosters in the existing sports, as well as a new sport like track and field. And we are looking to eventually add another sport or two. And I don't know yet what that might be. We certainly have some ideas and things that we're looking into, but we're just really excited about the growth within the program. We have new staff, mentioned obviously Gretchen here and Robert coming on board, Leslie, the strength coach. We have just hired a new swim coach who starts next week. His name is Aaron Green, and we're really excited about him. And you can read about him on our website if you didn't see that on social media. And we have a new athletic trainer starting this summer as well. Really excited about her. And we will have a new lacrosse coach starting this fall too. So I'm really excited about these new folks coming in, bringing new ideas, new energy to our team in athletics. Our new president, Mary Dana Hinton, if you have not heard about her, she's wonderful. First of all, I hope you get to meet her. She's just a wonderful person, a good person, but she is an amazing leader for Hollins, and we are so fortunate to have her. She led and she started her job in the middle of COVID last summer, which was in and of itself a huge challenge, but she has led the university this year in a really remarkable way. And one of the things she has done was to initiate what she called the Imagination Campaign, which was a way to really plan for Hollins to be not just sustainable, but to grow into the future and to adapt to the changing environment in higher ed. Through that campaign, many departments were able to submit proposals, and President Hinton went out and raised several $1 million so that these proposals can become a reality right away. Athletics was able to get several proposals approved with funding. And this is what I am so super pumped about. So first of all, we're going to be, for those of you who remember that area where you drive under the gym, we call it the outdoor turf area that's covered by the gym, but it's open on the sides. We're going to be enclosing that with it'll have glass walls. There will be a new weight room and a new sports medicine area. Those of you who are recent grads know that the sports medicine area we have had the last few years, it's about as big as my closet, and we have 150 athletes now. So we are super excited about that. That project is going to help every single sport, every single student athlete at Hollins. So we're really excited. In fact, I meet with our CFO and the architect tomorrow to begin some of the planning for all of these projects. But that one is really has the most broad impact of all the things that I'm going to tell you about. We also got approval to do some improvements up at the Riding Center, which will be to refurbish the outdoor ring, which had fallen into such bad shape that they really hadn't been able to use it. So we will reinvigorate the outdoor ring, and we're going to build this new exerciser lunging pin, which is, if you're not in the riding world, that may not mean anything to you, but it's really important for them and will be a big help for the program. We're building we have not had any practice or any track and field facilities on campus. And despite that, Robert has been able to bring the program to the point where it's at, which, as I said, is remarkable. But we are now going to add some facilities on campus, which is really going to give Robert another tool in the toolbox, I would say, to continue to grow the program. So out where the practice field is, the old soccer lacrosse game field, which is across from the tennis courts, we're going to build in that area a track, 4 or 6 lane track, probably not competition grade track just because we don't have room for that, but at least a track where the student athletes can practice more realistically, can practice, hurdles and sprints and relays, practice in a more realistic way. And we'll build a long jump pit and throwing circle also in that same area. And then the fourth project, which is not yet fully funded because they asked me to go back and do a little bit more planning, but it will proceed at some point, is to do some improvements at the soccer and lacrosse field with some permanent seating and a press box. And then also in the main gym where basketball and volleyball play, to add seating on the other side, trying to make it more of an arena feel, and then upgrading the sound system. And then I had put forth 2 other proposals in this Imagination campaign for academic programs that I believe would be really attractive to student athletes who are considering Hollins, prospective student athletes. And that is a major in exercise science, which is a great degree, not only for folks wanting to work in the fitness and health industry, but also students going to medical school or physical therapy school. That's a major that many of those students take at the undergrad level before going on to those health professions programs. And then we have also begun work on a certificate program in sport management leadership, and working with Abrina Schnurman in the Baton Leadership Institute. She and I worked together on that proposal, and really excited to move that forward as well. We already have a lot of student athletes who are interested in careers in sports and sport management, and it's one of the fastest growing industries in the country. So I think it will be a good program for Hollins. And then last thing on the slides, and then I'm going to click over real quick to show you the new website. To show you our new website, I'll just come back to that. Follow us on social media, shameless plug, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We're on all of those, and Justin manages that, does a great job with our Hollins Athletics accounts. And then each sport has its own social media. So if you just wanted to, well, don't just follow tennis, but follow sport, Hollins Athletics and tennis, or Hollins Athletics and basketball. But each of the individual sports have their own accounts on these social media platforms as well. So, and that's really, you get a lot of fun content there. The coaches will have current student athlete doing a takeover day, or just fun little videos, things that we wouldn't put on the website necessarily, but you know, would be on the social media. So I'm going to stop sharing right there. I've said a lot of words, I know. And quickly, before I open it up, I want to share one more thing, and that is the website. So can y'all see that? I can't see anybody, so somebody say yes if you can.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So this is the new website, and as you can see, it's very dynamic. It's really modern, and I just think Justin did a really great job in designing it. There's a new head swimmer, Aaron, excited about him starting next week. So as you can see, we've got several headline stories that rotate at the top. And then as you scroll on down, when we're playing games, you would see recent results here under the scoreboard. We do an athlete of the week every week, and normally that would be right there. You scroll on down and you get can connect with the admissions office if it's so a prospective student can easily see where to schedule a visit, or just go to the university pages, and then down here can see recent social media posts. Justin does a nice job putting together short videos. If you want to go see Robert's interview just before the track and field season was getting started, a couple of riding videos. And then here at the bottom, of course, some other links to, you know, some other things that we think would be pertinent for fans. But one of the things I want to point out up here, if you go right here to this fans tab, you can click that right there, and you're able to put in your email address, where every time Justin posts a story on this website, you would get the headline in your email inbox, and you can pick to get all stories. You could just get basketball stories or tennis stories, or whatever you want. It's a neat way to keep up to, at least, even if you don't read the whole article or email every day, you would at least see the headlines and go, oh, the basketball team won last night, or whatever. Right here, you can go to these tabs and you can see each sport, their schedule, their roster. And if you click on this, there are several other links, including coaches' bios, things like that. Here under Inside Athletics, there's a lot of kind of business stuff, but there's a lot of, you know, our staff directory. If you wanted to look up any of the coaches, find their email address to send them an email. Here's the outdoor program. I forgot to mention over here the Hall of Fame tab. If you ever want to see who's in the Hollins Athletics Hall of Fame, all that information is right there. And then we have a questionnaire for prospective students. And so there's a lot of information here, and just really wanted to show that to you because Justin has done such a great job building it, and want to make sure that folks know how much information we have out there.
Myra, I want to say one more thing about the website that you were talking about social media, and I'll just share my screen again real quick. On the sports tab, if you look off to the right of news, it also has links if, you know, basketball, their Facebook page, their Twitter page, and their Instagram page. So if you're ever on the website and you want to go to the basketball team's, you know, Twitter feed, click and it takes you right there. So it has that for all of the sports and all of their individual pages. So if they're missing something, that means like cross country, track doesn't have a Twitter account, things like that. So.
Hey, Justin, before you click off of that, do you mind? I forgot to also show under fans, will you show the link and talk just a little bit about the live streaming that we do of home games? Yeah.
So we live stream every home volleyball, soccer. We're about to start swimming. We did swimming the year before last. We streamed the final swim meet of the season, and it worked really well. So we're going to start streaming. We stream every lacrosse match, and I'm hoping if I can get some camera set up to be able to do tennis. But live video, we work with a company called Blue Frame. They come and we, you know, set it up. I'm just going to pull up a game real quick. This is what our live stream looks like. You know, we've got some fantastic play-by-play people. So, you know, we get a little score bug down there. So, and again, we live stream everything that we can. Also, like game day programs, if you want to look, here's, you know, we played Eastern Mennonite. Here's rosters for both teams, game notes, schedules, team leaders, everything like that. We put those online for all of our home events. Let's see. I think that's about it. Myra, was there anything else you wanted me to show, or?
No, I think that's great. So I just wanted folks to have an idea, you know, if you end up getting, you know, knowing somebody on the basketball team or the volleyball team and you want to follow them, you can from home watch the games online, at least our home games. And when he mentioned the good announcer for basketball, it's me. I'm joking. I do some of the play-by-play for the basketball games on the live stream feed. And Luke Villel, who's the librarian, the head librarian at Hollins, university librarian, he's awesome. Turns out we found out after my first year here, he's a high school basketball official, really into basketball. So he and I do the games together, and he's got a great voice. I've joked around that ESPN's going to come for him because he's got the golden pipes, you know, the radio voice and all that. I don't have that, I know that, but he does. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. So anyway, that was a lot of information, and I want to just shut up and see if any of you guys have comments or questions or want to share, you know, anything about your experience at Hollins.
This is Trisha Rawls in Norfolk, Virginia, calling in. I have been going to the volleyball games and the basketball games when Hollins plays Virginia Wesleyan here in Norfolk. Sometimes I've been by myself, but sometimes I've had some other cheerleaders with me, and I think the teams really appreciate it. I see Haley Ortez is on the call, and she can speak to the cookies that we give everybody. Is there a way to better informed the area alumni in those areas that you're going to be playing away games to get them to go out to support the Hollins gals, because they're representing Hollins beautifully and they deserve our support, but often we don't know that they're going to be in the area. So if you could work better with Lauren Walker, I think they're doing a better job of email blasting alum now also, but I just wish more people would come out and support the teams. I act like a fool. I love it. If UVA can tailgate, so can we. So anyway, I love doing it, and I hope more people would do it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I'll talk with Justin and Lauren about ways we can target specific areas. Of course, we have everything on social media as far as weekly, you know, these teams, when teams are playing, but I know it would be better if we could email directly. So Lauren and I'll follow up on that, see if we can piggyback on other things they already do. Haley, I see you've raised your hand.
Oh, I'm so used to raising my hand for work. We use Teams, so we all have to like get in line with our hands. But anyways, I just want to say it was really cool when Trisha would come to our games. Lots of candy. We got donuts one year, and the cookies were good. It was always so much fun and exciting to see somebody there, you know, obviously to support us that wasn't for Wesleyan, but so yeah, that would be really cool. I just wanted to say that I'm super excited about the major proposals for the exercise science and the sports management leadership. I know when I was there, we got asked for ideas of how to better recruit other people, like, because obviously we're a little bit more connected, but I think that was the #1 thing that we would always say, would always get shot down. So I'm so excited that that's coming in. And then I guess I just wanted to ask if there is any like sports specific clothes that we could buy. I checked the website, and well, last time I looked, it was just like Hollins Athletics, but I was looking, you know, if there's any Hollins volleyball stuff.
Yeah, good question. And I'll ask Justin to jump in here. So we have our apparel provider, the Adidas apparel provider that we use. We do an online store specifically. So there's the Hollins bookstore. They have an online store, their own. And then we have one in athletics. The way it's set up, we're not able to keep it open year round. So I think it just closed. We'll open it again probably in August. And we try to, again, blanket social media with that, put an article on our website. It's all athletic specific apparel, a lot of Adidas and some other kind of athletics gear. And yes, you can get Hollins volleyball, Hollins swimming, Hollins track.
Oh, okay.
Whatever sport you want, or just Hollins athletics if you want the generic Hollins athletics. But yeah, we just had it open for about a month, and I believe, Justin, is it already closed?
It did. It closed on the 14th.
Yeah. So but we will open it back up in August. We usually open it up about the time school's starting because we have new first years and their families usually here. So we started doing this 2 years ago with the Adidas company that we work with. And so, yeah, just look for that. If you're following us on social media, good reason to follow us on Instagram or Twitter. We always really try to market it there so folks know when it's available.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Trisha.
Myra, that needs to be linked to the Hollins bookstore. You need to make sure that is a link on the Hollins bookstore website, because otherwise nobody would know about it.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that if we can do that. But yeah, that's a good suggestion. And I'll certainly talk to the folks over there when we get ready to go live with it again.
Well, Justin, I want to thank you. I am delighted that there is a button on the website at the top. You didn't mention it, but I'm delighted that says donate. My favorite button on the website.
Thank you for saying that. My favorite button too. I didn't want to mention that because I didn't want people to think I was trying to draw attention to that. But yes, I'm glad we were able to have that there as well.
Yeah.
Myra, speaking of donate, I wanted to say, I couldn't remember if you said it, but we did have the Hollins Hustle.
Oh yeah.
And we had over 100 people for the first, hopefully annual. We're hoping to make it an every year thing. We had over 100 people participate. We raised over $3,000 for this one. So that was really great. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little plug to that as well. And again, that's hopefully going to be an annual thing, and we're hoping to be able to do it virtual and in person next year.
And that's the Hollins Hustle virtual 5K. I think he just said Hollins Hustle. So if you didn't see it before, it was a 5K. It was a lot of fun. I did it.
I'm sorry.
Besides just the times in the different age groups, like a traditional 5K, we also had submit photos in various categories, best selfie, most picturesque setting, best Hollins spirit photo, and I think there might have, oh, best family photo, and so people submitted fun photos, and it was a lot of fun. And it was really neat that we got, I think, just over 100 folks to participate in this first year. So look forward, it'll be in the spring again next year. So look for it next year and participate if you can. It was a nice fundraiser and a nice way to connect and get some fun photos for our website. So
great. I think I saw in my Google alerts that Hollins was going to sponsor a camp or something for local students, or I could be wrong about that. If there is one, could you talk about that and talk about connections that you have with local high schools or local community?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the all sports camp for girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll ask the coaches to jump in here as well. But we had also started that in 2019, pre-COVID. We've partnered with Roanoke County Parks and Rec. And the nice thing for us, they do all the marketing. They market to all over Roanoke County as well as Botetourt County, kind of surrounding communities. So they have a much broader reach with print and digital media than we do. And then they handle all the registrations. All we have to do is provide the facilities, and then our coaches teach in it. It got off to a great start that first year in 2019. I think we had about 25 girls ages 7 to 14. And so many folks were like, oh, I'm telling my neighbors, I'm bringing my friends next year. And then we didn't get to have it last year. So that we are back on for this year. And it's a neat format. They do 2 sports per day. All of our coaches participate in it. So the first day, and I don't know, I can't remember the exact schedule, but they might do tennis for the first hour and a half, and then they do swimming for an hour and a half. And we cover 8 sports, basically all the sports that we offer. And then we do a rock climbing segment as well on the climbing wall in the gym. So we're excited about that. Then there's the Hollins Summer Riding Camp. That's going to go on again this year. That's more of a recruitment camp that admissions puts together for prospective riders. That's in July, and that is an overnight camp. And then the coaches are all, like Gretchen was out at high school tennis matches today, and I'm a big believer in trying to get them to be engaged and to network with local and regional high school and club coaches. I think that's so important. Those high school coaches have a lot of influence on the young women in their high school programs in terms of where they're going to go to school. So it's really important for our coaches to develop those relationships and to be out in the community. So I don't know if Gretchen or Emily. Emily's also done an outstanding job with local recruitment. When I came to Hollins initially, some folks here told me, oh, we can't really get many local students to come to Hollins for athletics. But I know Emily has really disproved that. She's had really good success locally. And I think that's huge, because part of the reason our basketball team was on TV 3 times year before last when they got some wins was because we had some local players, and Emily's local from Lynchburg area. So I'm a really big believer that, you know, hey, it may take time and we're not going to be for everybody, obviously, but, you know, Hollins has great financial aid. And for the students who can live at home, we are a very affordable option, very competitive with the publics in the area, Radford, Virginia Tech. We're very competitive if a local student can live at home. So I don't know, Emily, Gretchen, let me shut up. Do you all have anything to add about that? Go, Gretchen.
Oh, I wanted Emily to go.
I'll go first.
You put your hand up. I thought that you would.
You know, I love to talk. I would love to talk, but I think Emily's got more to say.
Yeah, I just really believed in changing the culture of the basketball program, was getting the local high schools involved. And so our first year, one of the weekends we had, it was like friends and family weekend, but we had local AAU teams come, and the teams played at halftime, and it was just really fun to get them out there. We also have a local AAU team that practices at Hollins in the spring. Obviously, due to COVID, that hasn't been taking place, but that was also a huge plus, getting some of the top basketball players in the area coming to practice, once a week at Hollins. And so me being able to see them and get them on campus was a real plus. And then we've had success. So obviously with success, that is easier to recruit. We had one of the top players out of Patrick Henry High School. She was 1,000-point scorer. And her first year prior to COVID, she averaged 12 points as a freshman. I want to say she was the leading scorer as a freshman in the league. And then just making sure that we continue to connect with all of the different high school coaches. And so that's something that I usually go and try to watch one practice. If I'm not able to get to a gym, I'll just go and sit in and watch a practice and talk to the student athletes. And so I really do think the culture has started to shift locally when it comes to Hollins athletics. And Robert has done a fabulous job as well on the track side of getting out locally. So I really do think that every time I've ever talked to anyone local, they say what a great education Hollins provides. And that's obviously true. Like, wow, we hear that when they graduate, that's an outstanding diploma, which is something that we want to keep pushing, but also that we can have strong athletics here at Hollins. And that's been my number one priority. I feel like we have the resources locally, and we're in a great location, but it's just able to have other people in the area believe as well, so we can get those recruits that are needed. But the past 2 years prior, I also did a prospect camp, and we had 2 years ago, it was over 40 players that came in October. So that was outstanding. Our bleachers were packed on one side. So we had 45 student athletes from 9th grade and up that came to play basketball. And that was really exciting too, because they're usually within a 2-hour radius. Some of them had never been on campus, didn't know that it was so close, but that was another great highlight of just trying to get everyone local to come on campus.
Well, I'm glad Emily went first, because most, I'm very community minded, and I want to tell a funny story about moving to Roanoke, just because I don't know anybody here. And as Myra said, we came in during COVID. So I would come off from leaving Hollins, I'd come off 581 and get off at 10th. And there's 2 tennis courts right there. I'd never seen anybody on those tennis courts. And this one day there was like 8 women on the courts, and I was in the wrong lane, and I zipped over, to get into the lanes. I'm like, I'm going to meet some tennis players in Roanoke. And I'm like, they're going to help me find tennis players. And I get over there, and these ladies are in like a fitness class, and they've got this giant rope, and they've got all these dumbbells, and they're like, I go, are you guys tennis players? And they're like, no, we're here to work out. And I was like, oh my God. And anyway, they go, do you want to work out with us? I says, absolutely not. I do not want to do that. But anyway, my story is that, as far as recruiting for Hollins, and you just got to dig into the local community. And, I cannot wait till, Myra sent us an email, I don't know, at 9:52 or something. I was walking out the door at 9:45, and I kind of turned back around. We were able to recruit. So I had a t-shirt on, a tennis t-shirt, and I came back and put my Hollins shirt on, and just getting out in the community and meeting people. I got to meet families. We actually shook hands, and I think that's just going to change. It's a game changer, is to get out in the community. And, I'm just super encouraged. I don't have to watch the men, but I watch some of the men players, and we do have some really great tennis in Roanoke, and I'm just super encouraged. I was telling Robert today, we keep talking about Robert, but Robert has a sales background. So he is just fantastic at some of the parts that, we're not typically, coaches aren't typically, I love tennis and I love kids, but selling, Robert's just very skilled, and just getting out and meeting people. It definitely gives you a new life as far as recruiting and giving back to the community. So, I cannot wait to really meet a lot of people in Roanoke and try to make a difference here in our community. But I also just one more thing about Hollins, coming to Virginia and not really having spent any time here, in my youth or playing tennis, is Hollins has a wonderful reputation. Pretty much everywhere I go, oh, Hollins, yes. And I just have to compliment the alumni. Really, that's because of you. And that's because of you all, what you gave to the school while you were here, and as you go back in your communities. And I'm a community person. I grew up in a public park, and I just 100% believe in it. And I just thank you all for what you made Hollins when you were here and as you go back into your communities now. So please, if you find tennis players in your local communities, please send them to rushgretchen@hollins.edu. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Or
I just have to say the last time I was on campus was in February, right before the shutdown. And one of the things that I was able to do was we had lunch with some of the student athletes. And I was just, I was so impressed. I could not believe what a rigorous schedule these young women were following. And I don't know how they found enough hours in the day to do everything they were doing. And I was just extremely impressed. And I saw my nephew afterwards and I told him about it. And he said, oh, that's just wonderful. That'll look wonderful on a resume, you know, and he understood it, you know, he got it and he makes hiring decisions. So this is just a wonderful program and much different than when I was there 52 years ago, but all for the better.
well, oh, Mandy, go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to pop in here. So I'm a 2007 grad soccer player, and Hollins athletics has just had my heart since day one. You know, I'll skip the sob story of 4 years in athletics. When I was there, it was a bleak time. But I just want to say that I'm so glad I came to this happy hour and joined everybody and got to see how it's growing and all the work that all the coaches and staff and the school in general are putting into athletics, because I think, you know, on the school side, as far as like getting students to come to Hollins athletics is huge. Like having good athletics, good programs is a big draw, you know, like a lot of kids these days they're just pumped into sports and activities 24/7. And so if they want to continue that, they look for schools that can provide that for them. So I just want to say I love hearing and seeing everything that's going on and the direction it's going. And I'm just so excited. And yeah, keep it up. I can't wait.
Thank you for that. Well, you know, I say this all the time. The traditions at Hollins are so important, and they're important to us, and you all are important to us. That's why, you know, this is one of those good things that has come out of COVID. We've realized, you know, we can't get together in person. It's hard to get people together. This is pretty easy to get, you know, whatever number of folks want to participate from anywhere in the world. We can do this regularly. And it's my plan that this is going to be an ongoing thing once or twice a year, that we'll just have an online virtual, you know, event like this. And then of course, hopefully we're going to go back to in-person reunion because that's a lot of fun. I've only gotten to do, well, I got to participate in 2 of those. So hope you all will come back to reunion when it comes around again, and we can intermingle some in-person things with these virtual things. But you guys have been so important to the program. You know, all of you who have come before have laid the foundation for what we're trying to do now. And you remain really important to us now. And so I want to be connected with more alums, and I want you to feel connected with us. And I want you to feel like you can email Justin or I if you have a question or a suggestion, or email any of the coaches if you have a suggestion or a question. And especially, as Gretchen said, if there's a good high school player in your area, please call us or please send us that name, and we will certainly try to follow up and convince you know, accomplished young women, student athletes to come join us. So I know we're a little bit over time. Anything else, folks?
I just want to say one last quick thing. I'm really excited about the change in the culture of the athletic department, because similar to Mandy's experience, it was kind of bleak when I was there for my team too, but well, really all the teams, but I think it was really a culture situation. And it sounds like we've really changed that and turned it around. And now with the belief of, you know, that we can have a good program, and we do have the resources to have good facilities, and getting back into the community, I think that'll really help. Because yeah, I mean, night and day difference. Just like talking to you guys is so exciting to hear. And I have created a little email chain with the volleyball team. So I took notes to send to everyone because I'm really excited.
Great.
But, yeah.
Well, Haley, I didn't mention Dave, our new volleyball coach. I hope you had read his bio. He joined us, also started in the middle of COVID. These poor folks that are starting new jobs in the middle of COVID. I don't know how you've done it, Gretchen, Dave, President Hinton, but he was part-time this last year because everything happened right before the school year started. He'll be transitioning to full-time this summer, and our players really enjoy working with him. He's got a really strong background as a high school coach. And so you should reach out to him and introduce yourself, or if you want to, reach out to me and I'll get you guys connected. But I know he wants to connect with alums as well. So your group from your team, I think you guys should definitely try to connect with him.
Yeah, we actually, I think we kind of rallied the troops after we heard that there was a new coach, because we were excited to hear there was a new coach. So we've all been kind of emailing, and he's been sending us ideas. Like, he sent us pictures of the new locker room, and I sent those out to everyone. And then just recently he's asked for, he's kind of starting his own tradition, since we love traditions at Hollins, with creating kind of a legacy for each number jersey. So like each alum will create a number or create a letter, kind of saying, about their experience at Hollins or things they learned while wearing that jersey. And then he'll pass that on to whoever gets that jersey the next year. So I think he's got some good ideas for the program. I'm excited to watch some live streaming. So
yeah,
I think it'll be good.
Awesome.
I'm going to say one thing real quick to kind of what Haley and Mandy and kind of what everyone, and Myra hates it when I do this, so I'm going to make it quick. But the culture change that you all are talking about and that you're seeing starts at the top. I've only been at Hollins for 2 full years now, but Myra has come in and fought for athletics. She is our biggest advocate. She is our biggest supporter. She fights. And so she brings in the best coaches, because the best coaches want to work for her and want to be part of this because they can see what she does. So like I said, she hates it when I dote on her like that, but I love working there, and Myra is one of the biggest reasons why. Just the environment, and like you were saying, Haley and Mandy, just the culture change, and it has definitely started at the top.
She's taking it to the next level in an awesome way. You're doing a fabulous job, Myra, and it's been so much fun to have the coaches and to just watch the program flourish. So well done.
Well, thank you. It feels a little awkward, but thank you for those kind words. And it goes back to the people around Hollins, these coaches. President Hinton, I really have to give her a lot of credit. She's really come in and, given new attention and support to athletics as well. And, talk about it coming from the top. It comes from her, I think, that level of confidence and support and understanding how much athletics can help the institution thrive and prosper into the future. So, I really have to give her a lot of credit, and other administrators. I just think she's really changing the culture for the whole university. So thank you all so much for being on tonight. This was so fun to get to spend a few minutes with you. I want you to feel free, honestly, to call me, email me, anybody on our staff. We want to connect with you. We want you to feel a part of it. I hope we can do more in-person events. Just before COVID, we had an all-time basketball alumni reunion. It was a really fun event. We had a good group of alums came back, had a good game that day. I forget who we played, but we won. Our team played great.
Virginia Wesleyan. We swept Virginia Wesleyan last year.
That's
twice,
right.
home and away.
Wesleyan. Yeah, it was a really fun day. We also did a similar swimming alumni event that same year, and same thing, brought back Linda Calkins, who was the longtime swim coach, and had a big group of alums come for that. I hope to do more of those where we can do sports-specific alumni events like that. I think it's a lot of fun for each sport to kind of have their own day or weekend to get together. So I'm hoping we'll do more of those as we go forward, and that you guys can all, come back to campus. So thank you all. very much. And please stay in touch and take care. Have a good evening.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.